I'm going to have each of them introduce themselves and just tell you a little bit about what brought them into prophetic heart healing and what put them on their healing with Jesus. So, Stace, I'm going to go ahead and start with.
Journey to prophetic heart healing really started from, I would say, a decade-long struggle with grief. And I had gone through a lifelong being raised very religious and learning the truth of, here's the Bible and here's your checklist, and how we operate if we believe in God. And this belief that if we checked all the boxes, everything should be fine. You should reach peace, right? And
Mhm.
I never did. I can look back on my life and there's very few moments where I actually hit that level of peace because I had anxiety issues, I struggled with depression, I had mental health, I had life situations that constantly haunted me. And then I think what really just took me to my knees was a death, and then it was multiple deaths in a row of loved ones. And I hit a level of grief where I just couldn't function. And that went on for a good decade where I'd kind of get back on my feet and function in life, and then I'd be right, I'd spin out again or I'd spiral out again. And it wasn't until it was probably a decade long struggle. And then the final level was I had a loved one close to me with cancer. And she was very close. It was like a sister. It was my brother's wife. And I was with her as much as I could in the last years where she was on this earth. And I spent a lot of time with her. But when she left this earth, I hit that grief, but it was an angry grief where I was just mad and I was angry. So I hit a level where I just couldn't come back from it. And that is when I crossed paths with heart healing. And for the first time in my life, not only did I solve my grief issue, which along the way, I had therapy. I sat in therapy. I had professionals. I went to psychologists. I went to regular therapists. I did all the things we're supposed to do, but I couldn't find that peace. So I was introduced to heart healing. And I remember my first session laughing because I'm like, well, that was really nice. It was very, I, that didn't work for me. And about 2 weeks later, I suddenly realized that anger was just slowly, and I always describe it as a breeze hitting the beach where you hit that sand and you just see that sand gently move, where it will erode a sandcastle, just that gentleness. And for the first time in my life, it wasn't sitting in therapy and digging up all of the horror stories of your life and reliving them, but it was just this meeting of God coming into the picture and